Hello, CFAO South Africa colleagues, and welcome to the special conversation with our CEO, Andrew Velleman. This is a chance for us as the CFAO South Africa colleagues to hear directly from Andrew about where we are, where we're going, and how each of us plays a part in that journey. Andrew, thank you for joining us, and we're really looking forward to hearing your vision, your insights, and encouragement. But first, I'd like to begin with something that possibly is on everyone's mind around this time of the year. That's our half-year results to the end of September, 30 September 2025. Of course, the numbers just don't tell a financial story. They also reflect that effort by everybody, people across the organization, across the business. Firstly, how do you view the company's performance in these half-year results?
Dan, it's very good to be with you today. Thank you very much for this opportunity again. Communication with our colleagues is very key. And certainly as a result of all of our colleagues' great efforts this first 6 months of our financial year, we're happy to report that the result is very much on plan, slightly better than expected, considering the market conditions. Each of our entities performing in line with our expectation, thanks to everybody's great efforts.
Yeah. So when you look at the results as a whole, what do they tell us about where CFAO South Africa stands today?
So certainly we have three main entities. The first one is our production operations in the Durban facility is doing very well. Much more stable than the previous year in terms of our production numbers, supporting our biggest customer in that region. So that has been a good turnaround from the previous year. Notably on the second pillar, which is the largest of our pillars, is our mobility domain. The used vehicle sector is under pressure by Chinese brands, new Chinese entrants that have come into South Africa, but certainly the new vehicle sales much better than last year, an increase of more than 15%, which has balanced the portfolio that we are offering. Our vehicle rental business has performed strongly again for the third year. And then moving on to the equipment business, our forklift business, we've had a very good success with large corporates in this year, in this first half year. So far, very, very positive.
Yeah, you mentioned one challenge. I was going to ask about achievements and challenges now. You're talking about the competition coming from Chinese automotive brands as an example. I mean, that's one. What others are there for you, and what kind of achievements you would like to highlight for the half year?
So certainly, yes, the Chinese challenge is a new position for us. We have taken up a position with certain brands. It remains a key focus area for us in the future, which brands to watch and which ones to participate in. But then also turning back to our Durban operation for the production, we had shared with our colleagues at the beginning of this year the launch of a new business called CFAO South Africa. This is a metal pressings facility located very close to the Durban airport. We can share with everyone that our first deliveries were successfully done on the 15th of September. So this has been a very positive move within our business. Yeah. On the forklift side, we had a large corporate tender with around 350 units that were delivered. So these three elements have been very positive for us in the first half.
Yeah. So the CFAO colleagues, when they hear you speak and they want to reflect on the results, how should they interpret them? What do they mean for us on the ground?
So on the ground, what we are experiencing is that there's a high level of activity in each of our areas, all of our brands performing well. We are a market leader in each of our entities, and this is very, very key for us in terms of how we operate. So fortunately, there are no real big concerns on the ground at this moment, which is a positive trend, giving a firm commitment to the long-term view that we have for our colleagues. And this trend, I believe, will continue as we go into the future.
Yeah, and that feature is very important because these results, as they give us a picture, as you're saying, of where we stand today and how we're doing, performance like is kind of a foundation. Yep. But we need to build on that. Of course, when you build on that, you need clarity about where we are headed. So what will be the key priorities for CFAO South Africa looking ahead, guiding our strategy for the rest of this year, for example, the half year and beyond?
So if we look into the medium term, and we break that down into each of our entities, there are a few key themes that are important for us. In our production facility, we remain acquisitive for looking at new partners. So we have a number of new partners at the moment. The first partner that I just shared with CFAO South Africa was a Thai-based company. So what we have been trying to do in this business is to set ourselves up as a partner of choice for large groups across the world to come and produce product in South Africa together with us. So we will shortly launch a new power steering business for the Durban operation, which will kick off in next May. There are certain other brands that we are looking to bring into the country at this moment, which we cannot share because of some development at this moment, but certainly there's a lot of activity in this space.
Yeah. I mean, opportunities-wise, where are the biggest opportunities for our growth in South Africa's mobility and automotive market?
So in the mobility space, we are busy developing several new dealerships. We have recently acquired Polokwane VW, so we are moving aggressively into that space. This will increase our market share with this brand. We are expanding with Isuzu, with Suzuki, and we remain looking for other opportunities. We will also look into the future for the new Chinese brands, which ones are suitable for our portfolio. And then also to complement that, together with the large corporates that we participate in, a big expansion in the fleet business with our Toyota forklift business is important for us as well.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest challenges generally will be the economy as well, because you participate in it, and South African economy is not doing that well at the moment. Are you concerned about it?
So what I keep telling to our team on the ground is that there's a lot of noise that we see. I call it the noise, but certainly our colleagues on the ground are face to face with our customers. What is important for us to recognize is that we operate in a premium sector within the market. Sometimes, in some respects, a little bit immune to what is happening. Certainly, we remain mindful on the ground to make sure that our colleagues are taken care of. This is the first priority. Once our colleagues are taken care of, the customer will come naturally, and we have to make sure that we operate in a high level of reputation. So without the reputation, we can't do anything, particularly in the premium sector that we operate in.
Yeah, I guess meeting customer expectations is very important. It helps you to shape your way forward, but so does innovation and technology.
Sure.
And how are those assisting CFAO going forward? What are your thoughts on that?
So of course you have the key word of AI, and a lot of colleagues are showing a lot of interest, particularly the younger colleagues. But certainly what we are doing on the technology space is the upgrading of several of our back office systems, as it were. So we are upgrading in our equipment business during the next 18 months, a big upgrade. We're calling that Project Edge. In our Durban facility, we recently upgraded the operating system there to SAP 4 HANA, which is a global standard. And the previous 2 years, we had upgraded our dealer network as well with the back office system on Autoline Drive. So technology remains a key focus for us, and we have to move in towards a sort of paperless environment.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, you've outlined some of the priorities and opportunities that you see, and looking at the results in this half-year point. Let's just step back now for a short while, Andrew, and look at the bigger picture. I mean, what is a long-term destination, the vision for CFAO South Africa that you hold? I mean, we know strategy is always the roadmap,
Sure.
but what's the end goal that we're working towards?
So the end goal is to look after our people, number one. So we have a long-term view. Our group, more than 170 years in operation. And we keep sharing that sentiment and that commitment to our colleagues. Certainly, again, if we break down each of those entities, there's a lot of opportunity coming forward in the mobility space. Certainly, new energy vehicles will come into play. The Chinese impact, again, we have to manage. But certainly, we are only number 2 in the market at this point, and we have a big way to go to become number 1. So we remain open for new opportunities across South Africa, perhaps into neighboring countries as well for the mobility space. We will continue to have a look at that. We also, as investment by our head office in Paris, as a CFAO group, we've recently entered into healthcare, which is part of the next pillar, which has a vast number of opportunities here in South Africa. And the last point is around renewable energy. So we are already reducing our global gas emission reduction, but we're not doing it for that. We also want to be a key player in the renewable energy space here in South Africa.
You've mentioned the global headquarters just now in Paris. How does your vision that you've outlined now connect with CFAO's global ambitions?
Yeah. So the global ambition is what we call with Africa, for Africa. So of course we are with South Africa for South Africans as well. So we are set up as a division of CFAO Group, but we are consistently aligned with the group across all of the elements. And certainly the move into healthcare and renewable energy is further aligning us with that. Across Africa at this moment we have 260 retail spaces for automotive distribution, of which 120 is in South Africa. So we are supporting from here with our key relationships with key stakeholders as the brand holder in South Africa.
Yeah. What role do you see for CFAO South Africa colleagues playing, bringing about this vision alive? I mean, one of the things I'm taking out here that's key is that you want to be number one at some point in the market.
So certainly to become number one, we have to again focus on reputation. So our customer must come first and all queries must be resolved immediately. Customer service will be a key focus for us. And also looking for the innovation to come from within, I think is a key point. We will start a program whereby we will ask for innovation from inside called Kaizen. So this is not a new system for our Japanese heritage, but certainly into the French domain and the South African domain. We will start an initiative where we ask for ideas from inside for the daily improvement of each other's activities.
Yeah, I'm glad you're mentioning that, because my next point is going to be around people and culture. Because if you have that very, very clear vision and you've got the global ambitions that you're connecting to as CFAO South Africa, you want to make sure that everything comes alive through the people, is aligned to certain values. What message would you like to share with colleagues about their role in this company's success that you are currently envisioning?
So I'm a very simple guy. Well, at least I think I'm a simple guy, right? But essentially there's two principles which I'm following. The first one is called cut the grass. Okay. And what I mean by that is that where you are working, just make sure that the area that you're working in is comfortable for you and comfortable for your colleagues. So I term that cut the grass because it literally means cut the grass and make sure that it looks neat outside. So a lot of people laughing at me for that, but essentially I feel it's a very simple philosophy whereby we must make people feel welcome and comfortable within the operation, because we spend so much of our time there. Yeah. The second one is very much about speaking last or eating last.
Okay.
And for me, that's coming about, we need to listen to what everybody has to say. We need to understand all the different viewpoints. Certainly not everyone can be right, but we do need to be considerate of everyone. And my philosophy over the last 5 years, it's been quite a rough ride at times, but certainly a successful one up until now. But certainly to listen to people and to make sure that we take the viewpoint on, in their perspective.
Yeah, I mean, that's a kind of culture, I guess, you want to see thrive in CFAO South Africa going forward. So how do you make sure that that kind of culture, those kind of values guide the daily actions of colleagues across the board, especially in challenging times?
So with challenging times, we have the full commitment of our people. We've had some difficult times in the last 5 years. We had the flooding in KZN, we had the looting of KZN, we came out of COVID, and certainly during these last 5 years, there's been a positive trend amongst everybody. And I think when we talk to the colleagues on the ground, we try to visit many of the colleagues on the ground. They do understand that there's this level of commitment which perhaps is unusual from large corporates, but I think that it's that type of culture that we're creating.
Okay. Now, you've spoken a lot now, clearly, about the importance of culture and the values. I will never forget that it's important to cut the grass and to listen to other people. But I want to bring it closer home now.
Sure.
What excites you personally, and I'm underscoring personally, about leading CFAO South Africa?
So it's been an interesting ride. And 22 years ago, after having joined the organization, we were just 400 people at that point, and I think I was employee number 51. We're now 7,200. And naturally, this has come by acquisition. It's naturally that it's come that way. But certainly, what excites me is the challenge of bringing all the cultures together. So we've had to marry French, Japanese, South African. South African comes with its own background as well from the previous time, 94 and onwards, and we've had to develop through that phase. But it's been really a challenge to bring everyone together, but really rewarding at times. Certainly there's been times when you go home at night and you go and cry yourself to sleep because you've had a rough day and people are, having arguments together, but certainly in the end it's been very, very positive, and that's something I think that was also acknowledged recently by our executive in Japan, this culmination of bringing the cultures together.
Yeah, what kind of leadership does that? I mean, if you had to describe it, because you have this disparate, this diverse worlds coming together, and you have to lead them together in unison.
Okay. So I'm not a very boisterous guy or a very loud guy, but I'm more quiet. So for me, it's been about quiet leadership, quiet direction, talk when things are wrong, and encourage all the time. So this is sort of not so much top-down approach, but more collective and bring everyone together.
Yeah, the world was different when you were employee number 51 to what it is today, as you've just explained. What keeps you motivated?
So, exposure to all the brands that we have, the linkage with various international companies. I think watching a lot of the development that we've been able to put on for our people. We've recently opened Campus South Africa. It's a hub for English-speaking Africa for our engagement and development of our colleagues. That's number one. It's very good to engage with them. I try to make every effort to be on the ground together with them. And whenever there's an engagement, we'll share some thoughts and some sessions. And yes, we share about cutting the grass, but we also hear what is the challenge on the ground. That's number one. Number two is that we recently set up a information channel whereby we are able to communicate to everybody. So I think of our 7,200 colleagues, we have almost 6,850 where we're able to share directly with them and to hear those feedbacks, but also to tell our story. It's very encouraging. Where
do you go to draw inspiration to continue to lead such a big organization in such a complex world that we live in today?
Sure. So a lot of inspiration comes from previous leaders of our country. The theme of eating last or talking last is one of those that comes with. As I said earlier, I'm a very quiet guy, so generally we sit quietly and just reflect on what's happening. But more importantly is that I think one of the things is that when people are talking, how would I like to be treated, or to be mindful and be respectful is a key point for me.
Yeah. So what advice do you have for colleagues across CFAO South Africa who want to grow their careers, for example, want to last as long as you've done or beyond as the company continues to grow and expand in terms of fulfilling its ambitions?
So I keep sharing whenever we have an engagement, we don't just talk about 170 years, but we also have many of our organizations here. The mobility domain is more than 100 years. Our equipment business more than 40 years. Our Subaru business more than 30 years. Our production business more than 25 years. They're not just numbers. Effectively, we've shown through the difficulties of the last 5 years, the ones that I highlighted before, we've shown our commitment to our colleagues. There's room for development here. We remain active with new opportunities here in South Africa. We believe that we are creating the space for personal development. And certainly when you look into the details of our colleagues and how long they've been working for us, there's a lot of sort of lifers or long-standing colleagues, which is very important for me. And we need to focus on that and share to the young people that there is a life to be lived and to flourish in CFAO.
Yeah, I mean, there's this beautiful, strong legacy and heritage, but at the same time, there is a future in terms of where the company wants to go.
And also, what we're trying to create is this of course, there's always a delegation of authority that is necessary, but the environment that we're trying to create is one of autonomous autonomy, where the business can develop with some level of agility on the ground.
Yeah. What keeps you awake at night in 2025?
So what keeps us awake at night is certainly we have to be mindful of what is next. And what you've seen within the space, the new energy vehicles, the cheaper vehicles that are coming into South Africa, we're very much a legacy player. We are very strong in that space. So what could be next is a challenge, and we need to be ready for that. And are we moving quick enough for that is one of our dilemmas at the moment. Certainly, as we've shared in the beginning of the interview, that Our performance is very much in line with expectation, very stable. But the next step is going to be important for us to consider and what to do.
Yeah, I guess every leader, especially in your position, has to ask that question, what's next? Because things are changing very quickly. Well, thank you, Andrew, for sharing some of those insights for now. But just to wrap up, if there's one call to action you'd like every CFAO colleague in South Africa, CFAO South Africa colleague, to take away from this conversation as we are wrapping up, what would that be?
So it's again, this particular year has been about reputation. We see so much negativity in the news about bad behavior, about how brands should not be managed, and how people have reacted in the past, in more in the public space. So again, because we are a reputable custodian of several brands in South Africa, reputation is above all else. And with our reputation intact, we can deal with the rest, and we can give our full commitment to our colleagues.
Yeah, Andrew, once again, thank you so much for your time. Well, that's it. Thank you very much, Andrew, for your insights as well. It's been a pleasure and privilege to hear you outline CFAO South Africa's vision, the growth plans, and how each member of the CFA South Africa, the colleagues across the board, have a critical role to play in its future. So you heard him, you need to keep on cutting that grass and listening to the others, and also asking yourself, what's next?